Hey folks, Ariel over here with another catching up from one of our projects we did a few weeks ago. As you probably remember, last winter I had done some plastic wrapping around our bird yards. There's the chicken and the duck yard here attached to the poultry barn to keep the snow out. We had had two very, very mild low snow winters the first years that we had birds on this property, and so snow filling up the yard had not really been an issue. Last year was a much more normal winter and there was lots of snow, and that became an issue. Anyway, trying to put the plastic around the sides after the fact was semi-effective, but it kept trying to blow off and so on through the winter. Plus the original tarps that were over the top there that you saw me removing at the start. The one had completely shredded in the wind and blown off, and the other one was wearing thin. So we put this heavy tarp on. This is a piece of a much larger tarp that Clay had had for quite a few years for covering hay bale storage, and it is very, very heavy. This chunk of tarp alone weighed several hundred pounds. So we had it folded up in the right dimensions to roll onto this yard, and then as you see, we padded all the edges so that nothing would be able to poke holes through it, and it now fully covers the back so that snow cannot blow in there. It partially covers the sides, and it also is angled pretty well right, that now several weeks after we've done this, at the morning and evening, the sun, which is getting lower and lower in the sky at this time of year, is fully hitting clear to the back of the yard, which is perfect. Makes things nice and warm and bright and helps keep them dry. And then in the summer, it's a pretty full shade. This is also fairly stout. It had grommets on some of the edges, but because this was cut out of a larger top, the edge we're working on here did not have any, so we were having to punch some in order to secure the tarp in this location. But it seems to be working well so far. Hopefully this is going to last for many years and not have all the issues the temporary plastic did last year. And so far, the birds seem to be really, really happy with it. They're busy scratching around in their nice dry bedding under there. We have had snow flurries and rain and ice and everything since getting this on, and their yard area is staying very nice and dry. So if you watch the struggles with various more temporary covers for this as we figured out what worked and didn't and dealt with different seasons of weather, this seems to be a pretty good solution. There's lots of ventilation, lots of sun in the winter, shade in the summer, and this is something pretty stout that should be useful for many, many years to come without further attention and having to fiddle with it. So from the inside here, at least if the roosters let me talk, you can see we padded all the edges, and then in the center of each yard there is a seam where the panels come together, and because that has some sharp edges, we just ran a strip of padding side to side on that, and you can kind of see on the other side did the same thing. So hopefully there'll be no sharp edges to rub through. The back is fully sealed up. There's your little duck hut. The sides are partially closed. There's still some ventilation, though I may close that some more once it's really winter. And the front, which faces south, is all open for as much sun as possible in the winter. It's a drizzly morning and cold, but these ladies and gent are all enjoying their fluffy, dry straw under their new tarp roof. As you can see, they love digging and scratching in it. And yes, several of our ladies look rather pathetic right now because they are finishing up molting. And then they will have their shiny, glossy feathers back when they get their new coats in for this year. The ducks are all headed off to the creek. And the ducks are outside for the morning. Got 2 eggs there. One you can probably barely see in that corner. At least 5 of the ladies are laying in this lovely nest under their duck hut. Camera can see in here. They like to fluff all of the straw in on top and bury their eggs, which is nice when it's been below freezing out here because it keeps them from not freezing and cracking so easily. And we do have a couple golf balls in there as decoys. That seems to have helped our blue Swedish ducks. We never got them to lay in a nest. They feel a bit through the straw though to find where all they've buried them. But that's the main duck nest. If the others would all lay in it, it would be nice too. But once again, everything is nice and dry and fluffy in here. And even the cats like to come in here and hunt in the dry, fluffy straw. What you doing, Button? Going with her, Shadow? You girls are silly.
Thanks for spending your valuable time with us,
I hope you learned something interesting and useful.
or found something beautiful here.